This is a direct heat smoker and grill combination. It's fully insulated and it's on wheels. So I'm going to show you how I made it. So the first thing I had to do was decide what I wanted to copy. I really like this mill scale hot box. It's a beautiful piece, but I eventually settled for this chud box. I'll have links to both those in the description. So cutting the frame up, getting it ready. This is my first mistake. I should have left those ends open. I should have mitered them. And this was a real pain in the ass as well. I was manipulating these 3mm plate steel sheets. They're about 70 kgs and just an absolute pig to move around by itself. So I'm measuring up the first panel. This will be the bottom panel. And then cutting it up with the plasma cutter. And this is my second mistake. I really wanted the coal bed to be adjustable in height. So the idea would be that the coal bed would be at its lowest position for a low and slow cook, and at its highest for a grill. And the idea would be that I could change the height of it by cranking a sprocket on the outside of the barbecue, which would manipulate a power screw to raise and lower the scissor mechanism. And I've got it working, but I just wasn't convinced that it would be hardy enough, sturdy enough to take the weight of the wood and also have to deal with the gradual degradation of it as it got dirty over time with soot and fat and all that. Here we go, it's working okay. Yeah. And then I tried again, but I wasn't happy with the first one, so I upgraded it a bit. I got some pillow block bearings and some rollers and used some angle iron for V's to roll them on. I'm still using just a simple fastener for the screw. I should have used a Acme screw or a square cut screw or something, but they're expensive. And this is how it's going to work. You see here the sprockets linked by the motorcycle chain, and there would have been a handle right there, and it would have been awesome. But I had to give it up, just get on with this build. So this insulation is rock wool insulation. It's got a much higher melting point than the glass insulation, which is the pink stuff that you have in your houses. So everything's here sandwiched between two sheets of steel. I use 3mm steel everywhere on the inside, and just this sheet here for this bit of outside wrap, I use 1.6mm, and I was trying to fold it, and here's another mistake. I shouldn't have tried to fold it like this. Bad idea. I got told not to do it. I did it anyway, but I learned. So anyway, I had to cut those wings off and just attach them normally. And then I continue with my mistakes. I was like, okay, I'll just fold this over, it looked nice. The problem is, of course, that it wasn't even, and it ended up being bumpy, and it's going to cause me problems later down the line. But here we go, it's starting to look like a box. Continuing on with the insulation. I'm trying to make that smooth, which never was going to work, and it was burning through, and those open ends I talked about at the start, they started to be exposed. So these casters are, I think they're 6-inch, and they're solid plastic, because I knew I could do some off-roading with this beast. And it's just using that metal plate there just to deflect sparks and spatter from the wheel bearing. And I tried putting on some rust converter as the undercoat. Someone online said it was good to do this on fresh steel. I don't know. And then painting it with some epoxy enamel. Now it's time to work on the doors. Some drill holes to cut out for the air vents, the intakes. Insulating it, of course. And working on the hinges. 90-degree bend and some round bar. And the hinge sleeves. This is the plate that's going to be the intake vent slider. And I was pretty proud of this. That plate is just sitting there freely, and it's just held on by the radius of the surrounding round bar. Doors are on. This is like a bit of a true up, just some plate that I had to put on top just to square that and flatten the top out to make a good seal for the lid. And here's the start of the lid. And the lid needs chimneys in it, smokestacks, to control the amount of air that can, or smoke that can come out of it. This is another form of control to finely tune the temperature inside the machine. Needs to be insulated, of course. And this is the mechanism that's going to allow me to open and close the vents on those chimneys. And here are those covers or caps. They simply screw on and screw down to open and close. Real easy. Front door needed a seal in front, just a piece of bar to put across it. Doors need handles. And this is attaching them with the hinges. Some bar to open and close the grill. Last bit of insulation. And this is a counterweight for the lid. The lid's real heavy, and that acts as sort of like a seesaw or a counterbalance to assist with opening it. I wanted this counterweight to be able to fold down. You can see that there's some nuts on the right hand side, and that's their duty, is just to detach and then allow it to swing down out of the way to allow it to be, allow the cover to be put on it. It wasn't heavy enough, so it filled it up with some scrap and some concrete mix. Here you can see how the fold down mechanism works with a few bolts. Don't actually need a socket wrench to do this, just finger tight's fine. Now I can work on the grills, finally. This is just a bit of angle iron. I did another one with a solid bar, just for comparison, just for fun. And this one's just a piece of solid plate. So I can do things like eggs and whatnot. They are all. And I had to soak them in acid for a bit to make them food safe. That just removes the mill scale. This is the grate that I'm going to use when I'm smoking, but it also doubles as an extra coal bed that can be placed almost directly below the other grills when I'm wanting to do something with super high temperatures close to the coals. This is a fold down table on the side. It could be folded out, folded in. There you go. So you raise it up and rotate it down. Just some storage with barbecue tools, a few hooks. Attached to the side there. I made this little rack, like a little magazine style rack to store the grills when I'm doing low and slow, and I don't need those high temperature grills. And you can see they slide in and slide out. Getting it ready for painting. And here it is all painted. First burn, just to burn off any chemicals and grease and such. And I gave my old man the honour of first cook. Just, and it's good to get a third party's opinion. And we did make a few changes to things after this. My brother-in-law gave it a much tougher test. That thing was burning, but all good. And yeah, we're done. It's a lot of fun, learned a lot of things, of course. I've still got to get a thermometer temperature gauge I'm using as this little Wi-Fi unit. Anyway, hope you guys enjoyed that. I've got some other things coming up soon, so cheers, see ya.